GM. Today's lesson, I'm going to talk about listening to your body. So, as you know, I've been on a car rally across Europe for the past 9 days. A lot of driving, a lot of boozing, a lot of lack of sleep, because I've been doing all my same stuff here. You know, you guys see me, videos every day, stream every day, answering questions, daily lessons, all of that still on point. So still working while also driving 5 or 6 hours a day in supercars, which, by the way, is fucking tiring. They're not exactly comfortable. They're super fun, but not comfortable. You're squeezed in. Then, you know, having dinners, having drinks, out late, up early, 8 days. It takes a toll on the body, right? And towards the end of it, or at the end of it, I finished up, flew back, got back to where I am now, back at my home, back at base camp. And last night, as I was mentioning in my journal this morning, I finished up my work, I finished the stream, and just went straight to bed. I just knew, I was like, I'm fucking wrecked. I need to sleep. Went to bed, went to sleep, and I don't use alarms. Most nights I'll sleep 7 to 8 hours, wake up naturally, boom, away we go, back to work. This time I slept 11 hours. I don't know if I've ever slept 11 hours before. 11 hours straight, all the way through. And I know that. I also knew last night, after the stream, I knew I could have done an extra 2 hours of work and stayed up, but I just knew I had to sleep. I knew my body was overtired from all the week of madness. And if I don't, I'm more likely to actually fuck myself up for longer. I've done this in the past. I used to work in sales, and it was super fucking intense. Sales is a very it's basically a super high adrenaline, very high pressure environment, because you're battling against all of your fellow colleagues. You're battling against yourself. It's performance based. You can't just show up and fucking go through the motions, because if you're not hitting big sales numbers, you're falling behind. And so what I used to do, but also there's a culture in sales of work hard, play hard. Like, we used to fucking party every weekend. The company would give you beers on the Friday. You'd have an event at least once a week for something going on with the company. So it was a lot of late nights, early mornings there too. And when I was younger and I was doing that, I didn't realize that my body had a limit, because I didn't really know my body as well. And I used to just go fucking burn the candle at both ends, boom, boom, boom. And it would be fine. And I could go for 5 or 6 months and I'd be grinding. And then I would get to a point where I had that same fatigue. I was definitely tired. I was wrecked. My work was starting to suffer slightly for a few days. And then boom, I get sick. You get a cold or a flu and you're out of action for 4 or 5 days. Like a proper flu where you're actually down for 4 or 5 days. Your body's just completely run down because you're not giving it what it needs. And it would put me out of action for multiple days. And I have not had that for at least 5 years now. At least. Probably 6 years. I have never been in bed for more than a day. Sick, in air quotes. And that's because I learned to spot the signs of when I am getting sick. Not sick, but I'm getting there. I know if I don't stop and just have a rest, my body will not be able to recover and it will just grind itself down further. And then you end up out of action for a few days. And I don't know about you, but there is nothing worse than fucking being unable to function. Right? To having sore throat, sore head, coughing, sneezing, fever, you're stuck in bed, you're trying to work, but your brain's foggy, because your body's just trying to battle off an illness, right? It's trying to battle off a flu. And I know that many of you, like me, you don't want to stop. You never want to stop. You want to keep grinding, keep working, keep grinding, keep working, because you feel like if you stop, you're fucking lazy and you're useless and you're going to fail. Now, you shouldn't be someone who stops every 2 or 3 days. Oh, I need a day off. That's bullshit. Like, I haven't had a day off since I started the real world. Right? It hasn't been a day off in 3 years. But when I have times like last week where I'm traveling a bunch and still working, I know I need a couple of long sleeps. Just an early night or a sleep in late. I'll probably do it again tonight. I might sleep for 9 hours tonight. I just know it. And if I don't, if I force myself to get up after 6 or 7 hours again, or 5 hours like I was during the rally, if I do that, I'm going to end up getting a proper flu. Then I'm going to be out of action for 3 or 4 days. And my work's going to be way worse. I'm going to get further behind. And I'm going to end up being less productive. You have to know yourself. Recovery is super important. Please do not fall into this trap of thinking that you have to grind. You can never ever stop. Because if you do that and you grind yourself into oblivion, you'll end up losing ground. I would much rather have a 10-hour sleep and then 10-hour sleep 2 nights in a row and be fully fine again because my body has rested and get some healthy food in, get back in the gym, take it easy for a day or two, still do your work, but don't over push, and then be completely fine, rather than, I need to keep grinding, no sleep, and sleep's the big one. Sleep is where your body heals itself, and then end up sick for 4 days and some bullshit flu. I do not ever get the flu. Never. Doesn't happen to me. The flu is not something that you just pick up, in my opinion. Everyone has different views on this, but I know for sure I do all the same things I used to do when I was younger. And I'm also older. So when you get older, you should actually bounce back slower, right? When you're early 20s, you should be like Wolverine. You should never get sick. Your body's like so able to heal itself. And then as you get older, every year, it should technically get harder. But I get sick far less than I used to the point where I almost never do. And I attribute it 100% to understanding my body, knowing when to pull back, take a day, get refreshed, and away we go. Because a lot of things, like, it's not just the driving and the drinking and the lack of sleep. It's also traveling. I've been on airplanes 2 or 3 times during this as well. Air travel, in and out, fucking just, it's stuff that drains your body. And whenever I rested, reset, refreshed, I feel 100% better today than I did yesterday. And I'm probably at about 80% right now. And I know that by tomorrow, I'll be at proper 100%, right? So I feel way better than yesterday, but I'm still not fully there. And by tomorrow, I'll be boom, flying, ready for Monday. Or Monday's going to be the big 24-hour workday. So GM to that. And that's it. Listen to your body.